Hey everyone, it's Carl with the Tinkerverse. Do you want to know how to do inlay work with your laser so that you can make projects like this at home? Stick around. I'm going to show you how I use this Creality Falcon2 Pro to do an inlay like that using a piece of walnut, a piece of veneer, and some foil tape. And that's all there is to it. So we're going to step into LightBurn and we're going to show you how I went through this process. And let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is bring our design in, and so this is an SVG file of the heart that I teased in the YouTube short and in the introduction. And let's go ahead and bring this down to a size, let's see, do I want this, let's hit that lock icon to constrain my sizes. Okay, so we'll do 100 millimeters by roughly 90, and just because of my OCD, we're going to make this exactly 100 by 90 and then relock it. Okay, so I'm going to grab all this and I'm going to group it. And so the first step we're going to do is we're going to engrave this and basically create a pocket that the veneer is going to sit into. So if you look at your test grids, so you're going to take a look at something like that, look at your test grids, and measure the thickness of your veneer, and then figure out which of the pockets in your test grid is deep enough to get you what you need in terms of overall depth for the material to sit down inside of it. So first thing I want to do is come in here and I want to put this on a layer that's going to be a fill layer. And we're going to make this, ignore the name. The name is just, it could be CO1 for all it matters. So I'm going to make this 7,000 millimeters per minute at 50. And this is going to vary by your machine. This is what looks like it's going to work for me. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a line. And that's going to give me a nice trace around it to clean up any overscan issues that I might have. So overscan on this machine is at 5%, and my line 6,000 at, let's go at 10%, or no, 6,000 at, that's too fast. I want that to be in the neighborhood of 600 at 10. Okay. Bidirectional. All right, so these settings look good. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to engrave that on the base material. So I'm going to step over to the Falcon and I will put the material in, and then we'll come back here and take a snapshot with the camera and get this thing positioned where I want it. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to my camera controls, and I'm on the Creality Falcon camera, and I will update my overlay. And I put the board roughly in the center of the laser because I want this to be as accurate as possible, and this is where the camera is the most accurate. So let's go ahead and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to draw a square or a rectangle that more or less is the boundaries of the piece of wood. I'm just going to put that on a tool layer, and then let's grab the heart and that, and I'm going to center them up like so. Okay, so that should put it roughly in the center, or pretty much spot on in the center of that piece of walnut that I put in there. And let's do a little sanity check with the preview here. It is looking like it's going to take about 13 minutes. So let's do it. So now that that's done, You saw the nice clean edges that I got. So after doing the engrave, I came back through and did that secondary pass with the line, and that gave me nice, clean, crisp edges. So any lines that would have existed from the overscan are gone now. So the next step is you can do this one of two ways. You can either do this as individual pieces if it's not a very complex puzzle, or if it's all one, shape. You can just cut it straight out and glue it and apply a little kerf offset when you do it for a nice tight fit. Or you can do what we're going to do here, which is going to be to actually engrave the negative of this. So let's turn off the background. Let's see. Camera controls. Show. Okay, so we're actually going to engrave the negative of this. And what it's going to do is leave all the in-between pieces that you see here. So it will engrave out everything that is currently white. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to come here and I'm going to go to Arrange, Create Rubber Band Outline, and then I'm actually going to grow that outline, hold Control so that it grows from the center. And as I grow that, I'm just going to grow it by about that much. And then put that on the same layer as your fill. So what that does now is that gives me the negative. So when this engraves, it's going to engrave out exactly the opposite of what we just did, leaving me with all of the pieces that should nest directly into the main piece of wood here. So in order to do that, one of the things that diode lasers won't do is they won't do aluminum. They won't cut aluminum or mark aluminum. So I'm going to use aluminum foil tape that you use for heating and air conditioning. It's cheap, it's easy to pick up at your local home store, and it's just a adhesive tape that is made from aluminum. And I'm going to use that to tape the back of my veneer, so that as I engrave everything away here, as I engrave all this away, it leaves me everything exactly in the position so that I can then flip this and put it into the main wood. So now the only other difference is I need to invert this. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to come to my mirror and I'm going to mirror horizontally. And that's because when we go to actually glue it in, we're going to be gluing it in face down. So when I flip this over, I need it to be the right orientation. So I will invert it here or mirror it here. And then when I flip it over to glue it, it'll be everything will be right. All right. So now, if we dialed in our settings right, which it looks pretty good, we should really have nothing left on here but the inlay pieces and the foil. So because the diode laser won't burn through the foil, you can see I can poke through that there. It engraves away all of the material all the way around it and leaves me with just the pieces that I want. So what I'm going to do, and let me switch us over to a view of the workbench. All right, so you have to pardon my mess. I got a lot of different projects going on right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out and make sure that everything sits nice and even in here. So I'm just going to take a little utility blade and cut out around all the stuff that I don't need. Just cut around that border. Okay. And that should pop out of there. All right. And because it's all taped together, I've got a nice piece. Let's cut away from that. And then cut away from that. Okay. I've got a nice piece of inlay that I can take, and when I flip this, and this is why we flipped it horizontally, because I'm going to flip this and insert it into there. So you can see it's backwards, but when I flip it, it puts it the right way. And I'm just going to test fit, and it should all just kind of drop into place there, and you can feel it when it drops in. Okay. And if I peel a little bit of that away, you can see you can see that it's nice and set in there. So, all right, I think we're ready to glue this. Everything seems to fit good. So I'm just going to take some regular wood glue here. Fill that in like so. And then just use my finger to spread it around, and I want to make sure I get good coverage down inside all of those cavities. Okay. And I'm going to wipe away some of the excess just so there's less cleanup to do on the other side. Let that sit for a second, and I'm going to take and just with my finger run some glue on the backs of these. Okay. I think that gives me all the coverage I need. All right, so I will take this and get that to drop in right where I want it and give it a little wiggle. You'll feel when it's all dropped in. And what you want to do is just make sure there's nothing sticking up. Make sure you can feel that it's all in place there. Kind of massage it in. If you have a roller, I do have a roller, I just don't have it handy. If you have a roller, you can take a roller and roll this. But I don't feel like going to get it right now, so I'm just using my fingers. Now, I'm going to take another piece of wood, just a scrap piece. I just happen to have another piece of walnut here. And I'm going to run some tape on this just to keep it from sticking the glue, the overspill on the glue here. I want to keep that from sticking to this board, so I'm just using the tape as a barrier. Okay, so I'm going to use this as a clamping caul, and we'll just put this, make sure I got the tape so that it covers everything I need to cover. Okay, and then clamp it. All right, so it's been a couple hours. Let's open it up and see what we've got. Should have been enough time for that glue to set up, or at least set up enough for the next steps. Okay. Okay, so that was my clamping caul. We can set that to the side. And start peeling the foil tape here. All right, so you can see where we're at. I think it's looking pretty good. Once I start sanding, hopefully all these little fuzzies that were on the inlay will clear up. I don't know what happened here. Got a ridge here, but we'll see. Hopefully that'll clear up. I'm going to knock it with some 120 real quick just to see. Okay, yeah, we should be okay. Whatever that ridge was is will sand right out. So I think it's just some glue squeeze out or something. So that should be good. Once that's all set up, we'll give it a good sanding and get it back down to nice and smooth. We'll go from there. All right, so I think we've had plenty of time to let this sit. So we could do this a couple ways. I've got a random orbit sander here that I can use, but unfortunately, all I've got is 60 grit, which is way too aggressive. 60 grit would end up pulling out the veneer. So I'm just going to hand sand. I'm going to start with 120 and then go to 220, and that should be about right for whatever next steps I decide to take with this. I don't have a sanding block handy, so I'm just going to take a scrap piece of wood and use that. All right, and then we'll jump up to some 220. All right, there we go. Let's get a close-up. So there you have it. One of the reasons I chose to use the Falcon 2 Pro with this is when you're doing the pocket engraving, it's going to make a lot of smoke because you're removing a fair bit of material. And I wanted something that was fully enclosed. Obviously, you know, I'm all about the Class 1 safe lasers in this workshop. The Falcon 2 has got a really good exhaust system. It's got good air assist. It's got everything that I needed to do this job and do it safely and keep my relatively small workspace from really getting overpowered with smoke and fumes and everything like that. So, you know, at the end of the day, this was an ideal machine for the job. I put the camera system to use to position everything where I wanted it. You saw me repeatedly using the relatively simple controls on the front to home the machine when I place my work in there, so I can move my laser head around and just hit home and jump right into the software and ready to go. And just overall, it was a good, solid, sturdy machine with enough accuracy to be able to do work like this. So, you know, definitely hope you learned something, a little bit in LightBurn, a little bit about the machine, and you know, drop your projects in the comments below. I would really love to see what kind of projects you guys make from stuff like this that you learn off of this channel. Let's go. I wanna really grow this channel in 2025 and bring you guys a lot more tutorial videos like this and project videos, and let's have some fun. So we'll see you guys in the next video.